What went wrong? There was a financial affidavit of $13.5 million. Vendors got involved. They threw a grenade into the family for the benefit of their ongoing revenue stream. I've been in court nearly every week, and I've met many other parents involved in the system through being in court nearly every week over the past 3 years. I have been at Interval House 150 times. I've been with Dr. Wendy Hablow 25 times, even though I have no mental illness. I've been psychologically evaluated 4 times. I believe about 400 pleadings have been filed in my divorce case, and it completely escalated out of control. The guardian ad litem on the case, I objected to her. I moved to re-argue her appointment. I moved to recuse her for bias a number of times. When I conducted an audit of guardian ad litems, I submitted it to certain members of the task force before Thanksgiving, prior to presenting it at the task force public hearing. I had asked for answers as to why certain guardian ad litems had 35 motions on in one morning or 8 appearances on another morning, and the billing that I had gotten from other parents had indicated that they were double, triple billing. I was not receiving any answers. However, I did receive an answer on December 20th when my son was taken from me on a false Amber Alert scam. Even though I do not have my son's passport, because I'm from Ireland, it was alleged that I was going to abscond with my child. I was with my ex-husband at the paediatrician's office that day. Since then, the billing on my case, which was taken from the file in my court with one of the motions to recuse the guardian ad litem for bias, was published in the Washington Times and indicated that the guardian ad litem in my case had spent precious little time with a minor child and had spent no time with me and a huge amount of time with my ex-husband, who was very wealthy. As a result of that, she asked for a status conference and mentioned that negative references had been made to her in the Washington Times. Without speaking to me, she changed her recommendation. On the return date of the motion, she recommended that I be put on supervised visitation. I've not seen my 4-year-old son in 4 months as a result of retaliations. So as I stand here before you speaking out against guardian ad litems, I know that there is at least 10 people behind me who are afraid to speak out because of the retaliations that are being levied against people who do speak out. As for my opinion on the bill, more importantly, I believe that parents should have the fundamental right to parent their children. I believe that's enshrined in the Constitution. In the absence of abuse or neglect, I think that there's a place for them in probate court, there's a place for them in juvenile court, but there's not an automatic place for them in family court. While therapists and social workers and therapists have their place in helping families heal and reorganize from breakups, attorney GALs are incentivized to throw grenades into family for the benefit of their billing. I don't understand how an attorney is an expert in family relations matters more than a therapist. And while I understand that there's 1.5 million attorneys in the United States of America, I don't understand why they've hijacked the guardian ad litem program and are making recommendations in areas which are outside of their expertise. Another question that I have is, why are guardian ad litems who have 36 hours of training or so, 6 classes, less than a nanny's training, charging $300 an hour in a free competitive market? A price would be more in line with what Representative O'Day had recommended earlier or suggested earlier in some cases, at least make it more affordable for parents. I also think it's in the best interest of children that they have shelter, that they have educational accounts, as opposed to their funds and their finances being given to guardian ad litems who purport to be acting in their best interest, but are, from my experience, generating conflict for the benefit of their revenue streams. I also note that the Bill 494 mentions that a judge could suggest 5 guardian ad litems and the parents could pick from one. I believe that there is an incestuous group of guardian ad litems in the family court system. Many of them were here today, and they're using anti-competitive practices to keep the price up. There's a lot of guardian ad litems out there who are not getting the work, and if there was more free market conditions, we would be getting back at the hourly rate of more in the line of $25, $50, $75 an hour as opposed to $300 an hour. We'd also be able to have guardian ad litems, if they were needed, to go out and actually see the children, go to the playgrounds, go to the school, be the eyes and ears of the court as they're supposed to be outside of the courtroom, not hanging around in the court where the court already has eyes and ears. It's called the judge. If the judges need help in the courtroom, they should have more clerks. They should not have more guardian ad litems. And again, thank you for allowing me to testify, and I welcome any questions.
Are there questions? Representative O'Day? Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Just to clarify, I actually didn't recommend that amount. I do find it outrageous, the numbers that I've been hearing. What I was simply asking was what is a reasonable amount? And so I just wanted to clarify that. That's not something I said was an amount, but certainly what I've heard is outrageous. So I was trying to figure out if a cap or an hourly, reduced hourly rate would be more appropriate. So that's kind of where my question was.
I think that I did a little bit of comparative competition law when I was in law school donkeys years ago, and I remember there was a comparison between EU law and the Sherman Act. I thought, at least in the European Union, there was laws against price fixing and monopolies and anti-competitive practices to keep fees artificially high, and that seems to be going on in the guardian ad litem system. And I think that if there was more of a free market and every single guardian ad litem who takes those 6-hour classes, be they teachers, nurses, moms, dads, they don't necessarily have to be attorneys, working as guardian ad litems, I think that the market might level itself out. And with free competition, I'm sure there's plenty of people who would love to work as a guardian ad litem for $25 an hour or $50, depending on their demand based upon their qualifications. But I think that needs to be opened up. $300 an hour is outrageous.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Do other members have questions?